What is going on, friends and fellow artists? This is Matt, aka Mr. E in 3D. And guys, in today's video, we are jumping straight into Blender 4.0, and I figured I would switch it up a little bit and actually run through a tutorial with you on how to create a human skull. This is something that's kind of universal, something that you can use for a multitude of projects, so I figured it would be a fun thing to show you how to do. It's also quick, it's easy, something that I can show you within hopefully a short amount of time. For my project, I am going to stylize this in the style of my other characters, so he will be a little bit more cartoony, he won't be as detailed, but you can definitely use what I'm doing today, go through the process yourself and make it as detailed as possible. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. We have the basic cube that we always have at the beginning of Blender 4.0. I'm going to come over here and hit this gearbox, and I'm going to go ahead and add my first subdivision. Just type in sub, hit enter, and boom. And this is actually the shape we're going to go ahead and get started with. So, object, edit. Oh, sorry. Let's go ahead and apply this first. Perfect. Object, edit. Okay. Z, wireframe. Unselect everything, B for box select, grab this left side, X, and delete the vertices. If we look, we now have half of our model. Let's go back into our modifiers, add a mirror. So we have to do half the work. Hit clipping so that the actual model will stay together if we work in the middle. And from here, we are ready to go. Let's go ahead and round this out a little bit. So I'm going to hit G for grab, X, bring this in. GZ along the Z line. And we are only going to do, this is actually going to be the top half of the skull. So what we want to do, we'll go here and here, we'll go S along the Y, S for scale, along the Y, bring them in. Nice and uniform. GZ, bring this up flat. And then grab all three of those center lines. Bring them up flat. GZ. And GZ. Okay. This is actually a pretty great way to start. All right, so from here, I'm going to go ahead and add my loop cuts. So we want to take a look at the face. We're going to say, okay, here's going to be the eye. We have a nostril, and then I want my cheekbones here, and then I'm actually going to extrude out the gum line. So the gum line's a little bit lower than everything else. So go ahead and create some loop cuts. Control R. One for the top of the eye. Control R. One from the bottom of the eye. Control R. This one to the left side, and one more time. Control R to the right. GX, we're going to round this out a little bit. Let's do one more here, Control R here. And then we'll S for scale along the Z. We're going to make this round. Perfect. All right, and then for the nose, I'm actually just going to go ahead and use my knife utility. And I'm going to cut right around here an upside down heart. So K for knife. And as soon as I hit that, it turns into the little knife icon. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, enter, and then right about here, go 1, 2, 3, enter. Now, once I subdivide this again, those are going to pinch because these vertices aren't attached to anything, so we do want to fix that. So let's go ahead and go just to there. We want to just connect that to another existing line. Let's go ahead and bring you right up to there. We're going to use you in a little bit. All right, perfect. So let's go ahead and get to extruding. Actually, you know what? Let's add the subdivide again so you can see a little bit more about what I'm doing. So we're going to hit that subdivision surface again. We're going to subdivide them. We can leave it at 2. That's pretty good. All right. Let's go ahead and grab this. Our distributor faces, select, shift, select multiples. Good. E along the Y, bring that straight back. And then here we're going to go E along the Y again, and we're going to bring that straight back. And almost immediately you can see exactly what we're doing. His forehead, his top of his head is just a little bit too small, GZ. And we'll bring this out too. I will go through the process of showing you guys, the basics. And then what I will do is I'll take this offline and I'll do just a little bit more detail work. I don't want you guys to have to sit through all the detail work as I finish this up. Basically, the detail work 9 times out of 10 is just me smoothing out lines and just making sure that he looks as uniform as possible. Let's Control R there and Control R there just to keep him nice. All right, let's go ahead and grab you and GZ. Actually, let's Control Z those two back. I'm going to add another line here. Control R. And you can see that since I did some independent cuts over here and these aren't really attached to anything this way, it actually stops. The software won't allow me to continue this on. Now I can 100% go back in here and connect these. And as you can see, that just made it nice and clean. All right, so let's go ahead and grab these 3. Perfect. We're going to go GX, GY, and we're going to bring those cheekbones out a little bit. Good. And let's go ahead and do a Control R here. And let's go ahead and start that brow line. I'm going to make his eyes, since this is again a more cartoony version, I'm going to make his eyes a little bit more menacing. Okay, from here, I think we're ready to just go ahead and start. I think I'm ready to start, for the most part, his mouth, GY. We want to bring this out just a little bit, GY. There we go, GX. That's better. Okay, so let's get down here and start the mouth. Now, I don't want to create too many loop cuts going around here, so I think I am going to go ahead and use my knife utility. I've tested this out a couple times offline. One thing that I ran into a lot was too many lines around the sides, and it was really difficult for me to go back in and smooth everything out. It took a lot of time. So let's go ahead and do this. And that's going to give me, again, using some forward thinking here, I got to decide once I get the gum line down, I'm going to be extruding teeth. So I think that's good. I'm going to bring you in. And you. I think that'll be enough. All right, let's go ahead. Switch over to faces again. Shift click, grab all of these. Oh, there you go. And now we're going to hit E, and then we're going to hit Z twice. Let's get that gum line started. Okay. And this right here, use my knife utility, cut this line here. I already have that nice little middle line there. That's great. Okay, now let's do this real quick. And this might seem a little weird, but I'm gonna show what this does in a minute. It's gonna help me with my gums and my teeth when I start extruding my teeth. Actually, I have that line there for that round when I'll do that one. I'll use that. Now again, I'm kind of rushing through this a little bit. These are going to be, you know, you can spend as much time on this as you want. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and extrude the teeth. When I extrude these, I'm gonna go every other one. I have this little gap here just so that this doesn't come out as one giant tooth. I'll minimize this as much as possible when I'm done. I'm gonna go 1, shift, 2. I don't want to grab that one just yet. I want to grab that one separately. 3 and 4. Okay, we're going to E along the Z again. Hit that twice. If you hit it once, it just loose grabs them. But if you hit it again, it pulls it down along the Z. That's why we have to hit Z twice. All right, let's go here and here and here. E, C twice, hold them down, and then let's grab this other guy, E, Z, twice. Perfect. And now you can see we've got the top of our skull. Now, why did I make sure I had these lines in the middle? There's a couple reasons that I'm going to show you. First, let's go Control R, and let's make these a little bit flatter looking, all on the top. I'm going to go back to vertices, and what I want to do, GZ, 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 you should actually be closer. Oops, wrong one. 1, 2, 3, 4, GZ. Want these as close as possible, and I'll show you guys why in a couple of seconds. GZ, perfect. All right, now let's go ahead and grab, again, let's go ahead and grab these. I'm using B for box select to just grab all of these. You can see as I select, I just keep selecting GZ. I'll need you that high review. There you go. And then what I plan to do, we are just going to grab this whole line here. Just grab those top line, the top, not the bottom. Very important. Actually, I can't do both of these at once because I have that little, maybe it'll work. Let's see. And we're just going to hit S. Yeah, I was worried about that. Okay. So let's unselect these. Sorry. And then let's just go GY. We'll pull you out first. And then we'll grab this back line. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. GX. Now you can see we've got the start of our actual gums. And this is key. Now from here, I'm going to jump in here and I'm going to grab these faces. And I'm going to actually let's do the front and the back again, just to be on the safe side. And I'll just do you by yourself, all right? E. And look, we got our teeth now. Pretty cool. In the last tests, I didn't actually do this, and I'm actually really happy that I'm doing it now. Just gonna add that another layer of detail. Now, if you are new to the channel and you're just kind of stumbled upon this video, almost everything that I create, I eventually 3D print. I have a series of original characters that I've been designing from day one, and it's kind of, the series is kind of based around them. But I feel like a lot of these techniques you can use regardless. In this situation, I mean, I have a really good 3D printer. It's a resin printer. I print all my characters on. I could very easily be losing these details, but it's still good to have them. And he's still a pretty fun little character to have. All right, so from here, guys, what I'm going to do is, I think just to save us some time, I'm going to put the next part into a time lapse. And what I'm basically going to do is, and you'll see what I see me go through the process. I'll definitely show it. I'm going to bring a plane into the environment. And then I'm going to cut that plane into the shape of the jaw. I'm going to round it out, put it in place, and then I'm going to do the exact same technique for the teeth. Okay? And I think that's going to save us a little bit of time. You don't need to sit there and watch me go through that process. And then once I'm done, I'll do a little bit more detailing, and then we'll finish this up. All right, guys, so there you go. Here is the jaw along with the skull. I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup around here offline, definitely. As you can see, like whenever, it's one of those things that I talk about a lot on the channel about adding loop cuts. It is tricky. You have to really find the balance, because a lot of times if you do add too many loop cuts, it will square out the actual mesh that you're creating. Nothing too drastic here though. I mean, I can definitely go in and make some corrections here, and I will 100% do that and then show you guys the final product. But really quick, one last thing that I wanted to do just for my own personal gratification at this point. I'm going to go in and give him a little bit more menacing eyes. This is, again, this is for my character series. He is supposed to be an enemy. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this block right here in GZ, and I'm going to bring it down and show you guys what that does. It takes a normal skull and immediately makes him mad. So just that tiny little change goes a huge way in making your guy more menacing. So guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clean him up, get a lot of these lines. Like I said, I'm going to fix the jaw a little bit. I'll round out his head a little bit more. I'll probably give him, definitely needs to round out the head a little bit more. Give him a little bit more of a forehead and a little back of head. Give him those little knobs along the back of his skull. But overall, I'm super happy with the process so far. Let me go ahead and get to work, and I'll show you guys the final product. All right, guys, so here we go. This is a more finalized version of the skull. I've done a little bit of TLC to kind of get him where I want him to be. Pretty happy with this. This is definitely where I will start the process moving forward once I start his skeleton in the next video. Now, I did add some color. I'll go ahead and show you guys what it looks like rendered. Pretty awesome. So once I get him printed and painted with Garn and Kareen, and I have my little display set up, this is probably the color that I'll use or something very similar. But what's also great about this skull is you can use the parts individually. You can have just like a skull laying on the base of a character. You can have the jawbone laying separate, so it looks like he was like beaten up. There's just so many different applications for a skeleton or a skull. I just figured it would be a great little tutorial to show you guys. And again, you can definitely do a more realistic version. You can add all the little details you want. For what I'm doing, primarily 3D printing, this is what I go with. So guys, as always, thank you so much for sticking it out with this. Tutorials do tend to be a little bit longer, so if you have made it to the end, I appreciate you so much. Please, as always, like, share, subscribe, comment below. All these things help out the channel greatly. Thank you all so much. Have a great day.